station of Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Prime Ticket.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. Two clubs find themselves the same lengths back of the leaders in their division. Milwaukee 4 games back of Cincinnati, and the Dodgers 4 games back of the division-leading Giants. Tonight, it'll be Sean Markham on the mound. He has a record of 4-1 going for Ron Renicke's club. The Dodgers counter with John Garland, who is 1-2 but always pitches well against Milwaukee. His career earned run average is 2.1 against the Brewers. For the Dodgers, they are accustomed to beating the Brewers since 1998 when the Brewers came over back into the National League. The Dodgers have only lost 1 season series to them, and that was back in 1999. But it's a brief 2-game series here. There'll be 4 later on in Wisconsin. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
Celebrate your birthday this year at San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino and receive a special birthday package. Visit sanmanuel.com for details. You must be 21 to enter the casino. All right, welcome back, everybody. Short series with the Brewers in town. First of two, a 7-game homestand for the LA Dodgers. They lost the series to the Diamondbacks. Steve Lyons, Patrick O'Neill. I'm wondering if both sides, maybe the key to the game, or Hyundai keys to the game. Don't let the heart of the order beat you, those 3-4 hitters from either team.
Yeah, I mean, there's some studs in the middle of the order for these two teams, and they've thrown up some numbers so far. But basically for the Dodgers, it's average numbers, and for the Brewers, it's been power numbers. You look at Ryan Braun is leading the National League in home runs. He's third in the league in RBIs. Fielder's fourth in the league. But you look at Ethier and Kemp, their average numbers much better than the other two guys. I bet they'd flip-flop if they had the opportunity. Bottom line is, what those numbers tell you is that the top of the order is getting on in front of Braun and Fielder. It has not been for the Dodgers. So even though Ethier and Kemp have great average numbers, they're not getting the RBI totals because no one's out there for them to drive in.
All right, well, it's going to be up to John Garland to find a way to slow down those two studs over there with Milwaukee, Fielder and Braun. We have first pitch come for you next.
Introducing the Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. By Shakey's, win a pizza party for 10. Go to Shakey's.com. By CarMax, now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers at home at Dodger Stadium, opening up a brief 2-game series with the Milwaukee Brewers, followed by another brief 2-game series with the San Francisco Giants, and then the Dodgers will leave town for a brief time before coming back and trying to raise some cane against Florida and Colorado. The Dodgers and Milwaukee meeting for the first time this year. 2 here, and there'll be 4 later on in Milwaukee. That will be in the middle of August. So Ron Renneke, a former Dodger, a delightful guy, known to everybody in baseball as Rags. And Ron Renneke originally was a first-round pick by the Dodgers out of UCLA. He played briefly here. He was a minor league manager for the Dodgers. He eventually became the bench coach for another great guy, Mike Scioscia and the Angels. And now Ron Renneke returns to Los Angeles and as the skipper of the Milwaukee Brewers. He was born in Covina, lives in Claremont, and for a couple of nights he'll try to make Dodger Stadium his home. Here's his ball club. Ricky Weeks opens up at second base and Carlos Gomez in center field. Ryan Braun in left. Prince Fielder at first and Casey McGee at third. Corey Hart in right field. Yuniesky Betancourt at short. Jonathan LaCroix behind the plate, and Sean Markham on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, John Garland with a record of 1-2. However, in his past, in his career, his earned run average against Milwaukee is 2.1. He has 2 victories against Milwaukee last year. He was then wearing the San Diego uniform, and he is 3-0 lifetime against the Brewers. So he'll be facing Ricky Weeks, Carlos Gomez, and then Ryan Braun. Weeks just 1 for 10 against Garland, but a very good hitter, batting .296, and he has some pop. 7 home runs, 13 RBIs. He has 10 infield hits, so he is second in the league. And he checks in now, and Garland over the top, a sinker. That's a little low ball, 1-0. Ricky out of Daytona Beach, where he was born, lives in Altamonte Springs in Florida, and went to Southern University in Baton Rouge. He hits a line drive base hit into left field. So Ricky Weeks starts him off the right way with a line drive single to left. Let's take a look at the Dodgers with the leather. They shape up this way. Gibbons, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield, with Uribe, Carroll, Miles, and Loney on the infield, and Big Rod Barajas behind the plate, handling John Garland. A little bit on the cool side tonight, 58 degrees, but no appreciable wind, so it's a pretty comfortable evening. So Weeks opens up with a line drive single to left, and the batter now is Carlos Gomez, who is very much of a fastball hitter, batting .241, 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Right-hand batter, Weeks over there at first, draws a throw and dives back to the bag. Ricky, by the way, has stolen 5 out of 7. For Milwaukee, they're kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde ball club. They are 13-6 at home. They're 6-15 on the road. They hit .305 at home, and they hit .218 on the road. Garland ready and deals and gets a strike to Gomez, and the count 0-1. So Carlos Gomez checking in with a runner at first and looking down to Ed Cedar, coaching at third, to see if they might be a play on. So Ed has already done what he has to do, and Gomez waiting at the plate. He's out of the Dominican Republic. Garland throws to first, not in time. For Carlos Gomez, among other things, you have to keep in mind the scouting report that would tell you he is second in the National League in bunt hits. He has 3 of them. He is 6th highest rated to swing at the first pitch. And time for the moment. We're looking down to Brian Knight, the plate umpire. All right, Carlos back up. He's a big fella, 6'4", 200-pounder. Originally signed as a free agent by the Mets about 8-9 years ago. Garland at the belt, still worrying about Weeks, and time as the pitch goes to the screen. That was a wise thing for Garland to do. Just as he was ready to deliver the ball, time was called, and rather than stop your delivery and risk injury, he just kept going and let it fly, and it goes way up on the screen. So no balls and 1 strike to count. John looks in, getting a sign. Now set at the belt. Weeks off the bag at first. Just the start of things. And the strike 1 pitch is hit in the air, foul off to the right, out of play. And the count 0-2 to Carlos Gomez. Gomez has played in all 40 games for Milwaukee. He has made 35 starts in center field. He leads the club in stolen bases. He has 8. Last year he had 18 to lead the team. Though Gomez waiting. He'll be 26 in December. The strike 2 pitch on the way is reached for, ping foul, and a diving try and catch by James Loney. Wonderful play by Loney. to make that one-hand sliding catch of the foul ball right in front of the Milwaukee dugout. Big play by James to help out his pitcher, and one away. And now that will bring up Ryan Braun. When you look at these two teams, you find out they're similar in this way, as Loney now goes back to his position after making a big play. The Dodgers have Ethier and Kemp. They're the run producers. And the Brewers have Braun and Fielder. Ryan Braun was Rookie of the Year 4 years ago. He was born in Mission Hills, lives in Granada Hills, went to school at the University of Miami. Very tough hitter, batting .309. Bats straight up back of the ear, and he takes a pitch low, ball 1-0. The other night he had a home run and a triple in 2 innings. That's one for the books. In his first 3 major league seasons, Braun ranked 6th in history. Off to such a great start. He had 103 home runs in his first 3 years. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Ryan. Instead, Garland off the rubber. For Ryan Braun, 2 for 5 with a home run in the past against Garland. So Braun waiting. Now Garland very deliberate, set at the belt, looking over at Weeks, back to Braun, gets a strike, and the count 1-1. So John Garland facing a very tough hitter. Braun's high in home runs. He had 37 in 2008. He has 12 home runs right now, so he's really on a tear. 1-1 the count to Ryan. Here comes Garland, fastball inside, ball 2-1. For Ryan Braun, he has some genes. His mom, among other things, was a marathoner. She ran in a lot of races, and she's also a brewer. She helps make beer at Anheuser-Busch. Ryan graduated from Granada High School, set a home run record there when he hit 25. He also was a star soccer player as a freshman, takes it low and inside. So Garland, pitching so very carefully, has run the count 3-1. Braun backs out for the moment. He checks to see about a green light with Ed Cedar. Meanwhile, Garth Ord, the first base umpire, coach, goes over to say something to Ricky Weeks. 3-1 the count. Garland ready, looking at Weeks. He is going, and the pitch is ball 4. Ricky, meanwhile, does a belly whopper into second base. So a base hit and a walk with 1 out. And the batter is Prince
first
Fielder.
baseman, number 28, Prince Fielder.
So the big left-hand hitter, Prince Fielder, checking in, hitting .280, 9 home runs, 31 runs batted in. And all he's doing is slugging over .630 against right-handers. Fielder is 5'11", maybe 260. That's probably debatable. A little more, a little less. Born in Ontario, lives in Orlando. So Garland in a first inning jam here. First and second, 1 out, no score. Fielder, from his size, you get the idea that he doesn't do much running as far as stolen bases, and you'd be absolutely right. The pitch to Prince, in for a strike. However, in the last 2 years, Fielder has 3 stolen bases, all against the Dodgers. The other 2 were back in 2009. So Prince with 2 on and 1 out against Garland in the past. Fielder 2 for 9. John Reddy, here he comes, and it's fisted off third, foul down the line, back into the seats. Uribe ran out of real estate in pursuit, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. With 2 strikes on Fielder, and of course he's a power hitter, you check, he has struck out only 21 times. and he has walked 16. So he's showing a great deal of discipline at the plate. 0-2. Prince, named after a great uncle as well as the rock star favored by his mom. When he was a year old, they say Prince was 50 pounds. So he's been a big boy forever. The strike 2 pitch on the way, and Fielder pops it up left side. It will be infield fly rule called, and Uribe will make the catch. So Fielder pops it up, and with 2 down, first and second, the batter is Casey McGee. So for the Brewers, who, as we mentioned, straggled on the road and do so well at home with the bat, now here they are. They had 2 on, a big man up there to pop up, and now Casey McGee. Casey out of Santa Cruz, went to school at Fresno State. He has 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in, hitting .277. Garland trying to get out of the jam, over the top, and the first pitch a little low, ball 1, 1-0. McGee has been a very big butter and egg man for Milwaukee. He has delivered. At the start of this year, going back to July 1st of 2009, only 2 third basemen have more RBI, Alex Rodriguez and Ivan Longoria. Evan Longoria, a couple more. The pitch is low and inside, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Two on, you have Weeks who single a left with 1 out, Braun walk, and with 2 out, here's McGee. 2-0 the count to Casey. Signed originally by the Cubs. The 2-0 pitch is swung on, ground ball to the left is short. Nice pick and bobble by Carroll, and he holds on to it. It looked for a minute like it was going to get away from him, but Jamie held on to it. So no runs, a hit, and 2 left. And at the end of half an inning, Brewers nothing, Dodgers coming up. With Rod Barajas turning Milwaukee away, leaving 2. Now take a look at the Dodger lineup. Jamie Carroll will lead it off, followed by Aaron Miles. Then you have Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp with Juan Uribe. Then James Loney. When you get down to the number 7 slot, you have Jay Gibbons in left, Rod Barajas behind the plate, John Garland on the mound. On the mound, Sean Markham, M-A-R-C-U-M. He had Tommy John surgery in 2008. He does not throw hard, but he is very effective. And his first pitch down and away, ball 1. That first pitch was 79. He is a fellow who was wisely taught not to throw any curveballs when he was a little kid. The next pitch in for a strike, 1-1. And because of that, he could only throw fastballs and changeups. And he learned even at the tender age of 13, 14 years old to throw a great change of pace. The 1-1 pitch on the way is taken a little low. Ball 2-1. Jamie Carroll hitting .319 with 3 runs batted in, doing a great job in the leadoff spot and playing short. The 2-1 pitch on the way is a fastball sliced to right. Hart coming to the foul line, one-hands it and holds on to it for the out. Waiting for Jerry Lane to get down the line and indicate the call. So 1 away as big Corey Hart goes to the line, reaches across and one-hands it. So that retires Carroll. And the batter will be Aaron Miles. Nice play by Corey. He's a big man coming at you, about 6'6" out there. So now with 1 away, Aaron Miles checking in. Miles hitting .292. He has 9 runs batted in. That's been a great combination for the Dodgers, Carroll and Miles. And the pitch in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Waiting on deck, Andre Ethier. Markham 1-0 against the Dodgers, but that victory was when he was with Toronto. In looking at the Dodgers facing him tonight, Miles, for instance, has never faced him and looks at a pitch that misses. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Leona Navarro has a home run against him, but the catcher not in the ball game. The 1-1 pitch outside, ball 2, 2-1 the count to Aaron Miles. When Sean Markham pitches, they have a 5th infielder. The 2-1 pitch is hit to left field. Coming up for it and putting it away is Ryan Braun, and we have 2 down. Markham was a shortstop.
Number 16.
He went to the University of Missouri, then transferred to Southwest Missouri State. Mostly a shortstop and an occasional job of relieving. In fact, a lot of teams scouted Markham as a shortstop, but the Blue Jays wanted him as a pitcher. So he was signed in the 3rd round 8 years ago by Toronto. Finally made it briefly in '05. Stayed there for a few years, and last year with the Jays. And his first pitch to Andre Ethier in for a strike, and the count 0-1. 2 down, 1st inning, no score. Ethier had 1 plate appearance against Markham and he walked, and the Brewers load up the right side. The pitch up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike to count. So the Brewers station Betancourt, Weeks, and Fielder on the right. Casey McGee all alone on the left. The outfield about straight away, and the next one low. If anything, Carlos Gomez shaded tad towards left center. So Ron Renicky will give Ethier the huge gap in right center field. Of course, Ron was an outfielder when the Dodgers signed him. Here's a 2-1 pitch on the way, and that's taken for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 1st inning, no score. Matt Kemp waiting on deck. Markham works from the first base side of the rubber, and his 2-2 pitch is waved at and missed. There's that change. It just died of exhaustion on the way to the plate, and down goes Ethier. So a 1-2-3 inning, and at the end of 1, no score. Sean Markham made 13 pitches to retire the Dodgers in order, then went over and said something to Randy Wolf, who's due to be on the mound against the Dodgers tomorrow night. Meanwhile, big Corey Hart, 6'6" and 215, leading off and takes a strike. Handled with care. He had 31 home runs and 102 RBIs last year. Off to a slow start because of an injury to the ribs. Strike one pitch, down and away, and a 1-1 count. Corey felt that his dad was the best softball player ever, and as a toddler he would always go and watch his dad hit. He takes at the knuckles, ball 2, and so growing up he studied his father's swing, hoping one day to be a wonderful softball player, and instead he's been a big leaguer with the Brewers since 2004. Corey waiting, 2-1 the count. Garland ready, John over the top, little slider on the corner for a strike, and they count 2-2. Corey Hart and John Garland going head to head. Hart 1 for 3. 2-2 pitch is swung on, popped in the air. Across the foul line comes Loney, waiting, and makes the catch for the out. So Loney, who made a great diving catch on a foul ball from Carlos Gomez, handles an easy foul ball of Hart. One away, and the batter, Yuniesky Betancourt. It's a handful. That first name, Yuniesky, last name Betancourt. Young fella out of Cuba. Right-hand batter has a look at his strike, and the count 0-1. Born in Santa Clara, but now lives in the safety of Boca Raton. 5'10", about 190 pounds, hitting .226. Looks at a pitch away. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Yuniesky was originally signed by the Mariners back in 2005. 1-1 pitch on the way is taken low. He's had a problem of striking out about 3 times as many as he walks. This year he has walked 5. Sure enough, he struck out 16. 2-1 pitch swung on and hit into center field for a base hit. So on a 2-1 count, Betancourt just put the bat on the ball and has a 1-out single to center.
Batting next, catcher number 12.
So that will bring up
LaCroix.
Jonathan LaCroix. And all you have to do is realize when you hear that name, you think French, you think Cajun, and you're right. LaCroix is from Lafayette, Louisiana. So you can imagine as he plays, he's also worrying about what damage might happen with the Mississippi come roaring through the state. He went to the University of Louisiana of Lafayette. The pitch to the catcher, in for a strike. LaCroix is hitting .329. He has 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. 3rd round pick by the Brewers 4 years ago. Over at first base, Betancourt with 1 out, and Markham hitting 9th behind LaCroix, and he takes a strike. 0-2. Which brings up a point. You know, Ron Renicky replaced Ken Maka as the manager of Milwaukee. Maka really believed in the idea of having the pitcher bat 8th. He felt that the 9th hitter would then be on base perhaps for the leadoff man to get rallies going. And Maka had his pitcher bat 8th a good 12 times. And then you say, yeah, where's Maka? He's no longer there. 0-2 the count to Jonathan LaCroix. Garland a look over at first, back to the hitter, fly ball to right field, heading for the glove of Andre Ethier, and that would be the 2nd out. So 2 down, Betancourt holding, and the batter now will be Sean Markham. Markham, considering the fact that he did play a lot of shortstop, might be fair with the bat. He's hitting .167. That gives him 3 hits. He has struck out a little bit less than a third of the time, and he does have 3 sacrifices. So the former shortstop who has made it big as a pitcher, Sean Markham at the plate. 2 down, second inning, no score. Garland at the belt. John Reddy comes to his hitter, and it's up and in, ball 1, 1-0. Garland, remember, made a wonderful start last time out. That was against the Pittsburgh Pirates, but he got caught up in the rain. 1-0 the count. He had 2 scoreless innings, breezing, and then the rain got him. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Garland delivers, fastball foul back, and the count 1-1. The Giants and the Rockies are in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that game is tied up 4-4. That's Tim Lincecum against Clayton Mortensen. Ismael Rogers out with an injury, so Clayton Mortensen is the pitcher. 1-1 the count. Garland ready. John delivers, swung on and missed. Lincecum trying to hold on to a 4-3 lead in the 6th inning, having already made over 100 pitches. Gave up a tying single to Dexter Fowler. Andres Torres made Schierholtz have homered for San Francisco in that one. So Betancourt with a 1-out single over there at first base with 2 out, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, ground ball to short. Carroll quickly to Miles, and that's that. No runs, a hit, a man left, and at the end of an inning and a half, the Brewers nothing and the Dodgers nothing. By Jack in the Box. Get the new Bourbon Barbecue Steak Grill Sandwich at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. Bottom of the 2nd inning, no score in the ball game. The Dodgers will have Matt Kemp, Juan Uribe, and then James Loney against right-hander Sean Markham. Matt hitting .329. He has 7 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Against right-hand pitching this year, Matt hitting .303. And Sean Markham ready to go to work. No runs, 2 hits for the Brewers. Dodgers went out in order in the 1st inning. Markham ready, and Sean's first pitch down and away, ball 1, 1-0. The Dodgers have a 4-game winning streak against Milwaukee, and they've had a very good history against the Brewers down through the years. Kemp swings, doesn't get it, 1-1. Dodger record since 2001 against Milwaukee, 40 victories, and 20 losses. So Mattingly hopes he still has the edge. In fact, since 1999, the Dodgers have only lost one season series as Kemp swings and misses 1-2. That would be in 1999 when the Dodgers lost 4 of 7. 1-2 the count to Matt Kemp. Markham turns, ready, Sean delivers, and it is swung on and missed, and down goes Kemp. Second strikeout for Markham, and we have one away, and Juan Uribe coming up.
Next, third baseman
He's not throwing hard, but the ball is moving. He's throwing strikes, and he is retired 4 in a row. Among other things about Sean Markham, he has a son whose name is Ryan, R-Y-N-E, that's right, named after his favorite player, the Cubs second baseman, Ryne Sandberg. He is also a man who likes some tattoos. His first pitch to Uribe is in for a strike, and the count 0-1. His right deltoid bears a picture of the Markham family crest. He works the next one away. That's a knight's helmet perched above a blue shield with a yellow stripe. Meanwhile, Uribe struggling, hitting only 200. And the next pitch swung on and missed. The Dodgers breaking the laces of the shoes. They're swinging so hard, and the pitch is not there. That was a 77-mile-an-hour change. 1-2 to Juan Uribe. Markham looks down the barrel to get a sign. Sean delivers, throws about as hard as he can outside. That was 91 miles an hour. Uribe is 2 for 11 against him in the past. Sean ready, and his 2-2 pitch is taken a little low, ball 3. Basically, you'll get a fastball that may get to 92. He has a slider, throws curveball, cutter, and a circle change. There it is, and a high fly ball into deep left center field. Back on the track, leaping to make a sensational catch is Carlos Gomez. He takes a home run away from Juan Uribe. Oh, what a play. That was over the wall, and Carlos Gomez just literally climbed the wall, got the leather up there, and made the catch. Brilliant play by the Milwaukee center fielder. He was shading a little to right center. When he got to the track, he leaped as high as he could and made the catch. And boy, an animated Ryan Braun was thrilled as he stood alongside of him, and Gomez gesturing over to Corey Hart. Big play. So Uribe loses a home run. It's a long out, and the batter now is James Loney. And Loney takes outside, ball 1, 1-0. With all of the off-speed stuff that Markham throws, you might wonder, he has allowed 4 home runs. He'll never come any closer to number 5. Loney slicing a fly ball with 2 out. Ryan Braun is there, and that's the inning. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3, but it took a great catch by young Carlos Gomez to keep it that way. And at the end of 2, no score. Spectacular catch to take a home run away from Juan Uribe. And once again, we remind you, Carlos Gomez is 6'4", and he needed all of that and then some to get that glove above the wall and take the home run away. So Uribe robbed under the lights, and we go to the third, no score. Ricky Weeks will let off the game with a base hit. Will lead off the third inning. Garland ready and delivers, and the pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. So Weeks, who is a very consistent hitter, came into the game hitting .291 against right-handers, .297 against left-handers, and he promptly drives one to left. Going back on the ball is Gibbons to the track, leaps up, makes the catch, hits the wall, and holds on to the ball. And Gibbons is shaken up. So Jay Gibbons makes a wonderful play, crashing into the wall. Left shoulder got the brunt of it, I think. Matt Kemp comes over to make sure he's okay. So we've had two outstanding outfield plays, one by Gomez and that one by Jay Gibbons. Gibbons hitting the scoreboard hard with his left shoulder, went down to his knees, and then got back up. And he gets an ovation from the crowd as they show the play again on Diamond Vision. So one away in the third. So on the heels of Gomez, you have Gibbons, and now here comes Gomez again. He fouled out in the first inning. The pitch to Carlos, he shows bunt, ball one. And we're not joking when we say this. That would have jarred the contact lenses that Gibbons wears. But he's okay. Boy, what a hit he took. The 1-0 pitch on the way, foul back. I'll tell you one thing, Gomez did something you rarely see on that pitch. He actually ran up in the box. Most hitters in these days just settle in at the plate and that's it. But Carlos actually moved up, either guessing breaking ball or just decided to take a page out of Ichiro and hit on the run. The 1-1 pitch coming up. Gomez shows bunt, and it's low and away. 2-1 the count to young Carlos, who made that great play on Juan Uribe. No score, third inning. Gomez is a notorious first pitch swinger. The 2-1 pitch inside hit something, and I think it got him on the hand. It did, and he'll go to first base. So Garland trying to get it inside, check swing, and it nailed him. So Gomez to first base, holding the right hand and wrist, and timeout for the moment. So they're ministering to Gomez. Looks like the knuckles of the right hand.
Now batting,
Still
left
not quite
fielder, number
ready.
8, Ryan
Garthorns
Braun.
checks him out. So Gomez gets nailed with the pitch, and that will bring up Ryan Braun. So Carlos at first, one away, and Braun at the plate. Ryan with a walk. As far as Gomez is concerned, he has stolen 8 out of 9, so he's a problem for Garland. Held on by Loney. Garland looks in, and so long time for the moment. Talking about Carlos, there's another Carlos. Carlos Gonzalez hit a 3-run home run against Tim Lincecum. That knocked him out of the game. And the Rockies are leading over the Giants 7-4. They've had a 5-run 6th inning. So with Braun at the plate, the check is, do you turn Carlos Gomez loose? With the big boys, Braun followed by Fielder. Off the bag goes Gomez. A look over by Garland. The pitch to Braun. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. For the Brewers, they are a very aggressive hitting team. They are number 1 in the league in swinging at the first pitch. They're at least 11 percentage points higher swinging at the first pitch. You have to be ready. 0-1 the count to Ryan Braun. Again, Gomez taking his lead. Garland not looking at him. Now he does. John backs off the rubber. Garland, throughout his career, has an excellent percentage as far as holding runners on, especially for a right-hand pitcher. He's allowed 62 stolen bases. However, 57 caught. So he's tough. Strike one, pitch on the way. There he goes, because Gomez. Pitch missed at the plate. Throw on a bounce. Kicks off behind second base, but it's backed up by Carroll. So into space with the stolen base goes Carlos Gomez, who has now stolen 9 out of 10. By the way, you don't throw out the Brewers very easily. They are 14th as far as trying to get them when they go stealing. So for the team now, they have stolen 25, and they've only been caught 7 times. So a runner at second, 1 out, no score, 3rd inning, 0-2 the count to Ryan Braun, who has 12 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Garland looks back at Gomez, just staring at him. Now comes to the plate, and there's a little roller to short that keeps Gomez at second, and Carroll throws out Braun, and we have 2 down. You know, you can join the Dodgers Wednesday. Enjoy the Coca-Cola value pack on select Wednesday and Sunday Dodger home game. Fans receive 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, and 4 Cokes, starting at $20 a seat. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/specials or call 866-DODGERS. 2 out. Gomez still at second base with a left-hand hitter Fielder up there. Carroll way over to his left immediately cuts down the lead that Gomez might take. Garland looks back. Big Fielder waits at the plate, and Prince has a look at a pitch in the dirt. Ball 1, 1-0. So Prince Fielder waiting at the plate. No score in the 3rd. Dodgers have Aaron Miles on the grass. Loney is deep, but the outfield is not overly committed. It's fanned out about straight away. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fielder takes off the plate way outside. 2 balls and no strikes. They count. Game 1 of a 2-game series. It'll be Hiroki Kuroda tomorrow night against old pal Randy Wolf. Meanwhile, Fielder waits. Gomez takes his lead, and Garland studies Barajas. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way to Prince Fielder, and the big left-hand hit a hard ground ball right on by Jamie Carroll's backhanded effort, and the run scored. That thing was drilled. Jamie tried to backhand the ball, but it just ate him up. So Fielder, a hard single into left center field to pick up Gomez. So base hit, run batted in, and the batter will be Casey McGee. McGee popped up in the 1st inning. Boy, was that thing ripped right on by Jamie Carroll. So 2 out, 1-0 Brewers here in the 3rd. McGee 0 for 1. Right-hand batter hitting .275. Casey 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Garland out of a stretch and delivers. Check swing for a strike, and the count 0-1. Casey muttering, a little unhappy, I believe, on the call. No doubt thought he had the bat back. Now Casey checks in. He came over from the Cubs. They picked him up on waivers. Pretty good deal. Hitting .275. Now the strike 1 pitch of the right-hand batter. John Garland delivers, drops it low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Originally drafted by the Cubs, but Aramis Ramirez blocked him, though he went off the Cubs and winds up doing a fine job for Milwaukee. And even though he has a couple of extra letters in the name. It's spelled McGehee. You want to say to yourself McGehee, but no, it's strictly Casey McGehee. At first base, Prince Fielder. Interesting note about Fielder as a base runner. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming up. Instead, Garland backs off the rubber. You might wonder, a fellow as big as Prince Fielder, how many times has he gone from first to third on a base hit? He had 56 opportunities last year to go from first to third on a base hit. How about one? There's a comebacker. Garland has it, underhands it to first, and that's that. Let's take a look at that great catch by Jay Gibbons, going back up against the scoreboard, bangs into it, is knocked down, turns around, stays on his knees for a little while, but holds on. But it's still 1-0 Brewers. To nothing in favor of Milwaukee. Jay Gibbons, who made that spectacular catch of the ball hit by Ricky Weeks, will start it off. Markham ready and delivers, and Sean gets a strike. 0-1. With Gibbons, they load up the right side of the infield, and they shade Carlos Gonzalez slightly towards right center. Big ground ball, one-handed on the bounce by Fielder. Delivers to Markham in time for the out. So a nice play by Prince Fielder. That retires Jay Gibbons. Then we have one out. 7 in a row retired by Markham. And the batter is Rod Barajas. Markham, by the way, has done well his last couple of games on the road. In his last 4 starts, he's gone 2-0. His earned run average is 0.3. And the opposition hitting 173. So I'll say he's been doing well on the road. Sean, as we mentioned, had Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago, but he's battled back nicely. And working on Rod Barajas, big catcher, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Rod batting .233, 7 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Markham looks down to get a sign. They load up the left side of the infield for Rod Barajas, who fouls it away. Of course, Barajas, without any percentage in front of us, but basically he's a fly ball hitter. Nevertheless, they swing everybody to the left side, leaving Fielder all alone on the right side. Rod, talking about being a fly ball hitter, almost tied up the game, you may remember, as a pinch hitter. The pitch to him is swung on and missed. and down he goes. So Barajas becomes the third strikeout victim for Markham. A reminder, Memorial Day just around the corner. Enjoy the long-standing tradition of hot dogs at Dodger Stadium Monday, May 30th. Dollar Dodger Dog Day. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. 3 strikeouts for Markham, and the pitch to John Garland misses. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to John. Garland with the bat, 0 for 6. Right-handed, and this pitch swung on and missed. 1-1. Light breeze blowing from left to right. Markham had the Tommy John surgery after having had sprained ligaments in the elbow, and finally in September of 2008 he had to leave a start in the 3rd inning, numbness in his right arm, and that told him he needed TJ surgery. Garland, a high pop foul off to the left of the plate. LaCroix along with the third baseman McGee, and it's McGee. So Markham has retired 9 in a row, and at the end of 3, 1-0 Milwaukee. El Pollo Loco. Try our delicious Baja-style fish tacos with classic Baja or spicy avocado sauce. Only at El Pollo Loco. By Corona. And by Time Warner Cable. The Brewers lead the Dodgers 1-0 in the 4th inning, and big Corey Hart will start it off at 6'6", 215. Corey, late in spring training last year, decided to wear contacts. He had been diagnosed with less than 20/20 vision, but he also ordered some prescription sports glasses to wear instead of the contacts. He shies away. Pitch at the knuckles, ball 1. And from the looks of things, he's wearing the contacts tonight. Married with 3 children, and he has a tattoo for the family as he files it away. Maybe not as many as Sean Markham, but his tattoo has his kids' first initials on a 4-leaf clover and his wife's initial in the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 2, 2-1. Corey Hart, one of his hobbies, he collects comic books and action figures. And at 6'6", who would argue with him? Ball 3. So Garland has not had an easy inning in the sense he's had at least 1 man on, and finally surrendered the run despite the great catch in center field, or left field really, by Gibbons. The other great catch we have tonight was by Carlos Gomez in center on the ball hit by Uribe. 3-2 to Corey Hart. and low for ball 4. So Garland gives up a second walk. He's also hit a batter. Corey Hart last year stole 7 bases. This is a very aggressive base running team. Hart this year, however, 0 for 1. And the batter is Yuniesky Betancourt, who is really a first ball hitter. So we'll see what happens this time. But his percentage of first ball is like 45%. He held up. He swings at the first pitch statistically 45% of the time. That's the most in the major leagues. The Dodgers shortstop Jamie Carroll swings at the first pitch 3% of the time. That's least in the major leagues. 0-1. He's after that one, off the body of Garland, deflected to Uribe, and the throw to Miles in time for the out on Corey Hart. And Garland having to walk it off. Boy, he got it all. So John trying to walk it off. Miles gives him the ball. Carroll comes over to see if he's okay. No one coming out of the Dodger dugout. They just did get the force, and it was a tough play for Miles as big Corey Hart landed. And now Garland says to Uribe, I'm okay. So a force play, 1-5-4. And the batter will be Jonathan LaCroix. LaCroix hitting .325, 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Brewers lead 1-0. Last year, LaCroix did most of his damage against left-hand pitchers. He had .241 with 1 home run against right-handers. In his own words, LaCroix said when he was in college, he was a terrible catcher. Well, he has certainly improved. Meanwhile, Betancourt at first. 1-1 the count. Betancourt is 0 for 1 in stolen bases. When the Brewers turn a runner loose, he's usually successful. Foul back, 1-2. I think we mentioned they're 14th lowest in caught stealing. Well, they've had 1 try tonight. Gomez stole second in the 3rd inning. Carlos, after being hit on the hand after making a spectacular catch to take a home run away from Juan Uribe. So he's been a busy man and scored the only run. 1-2 the count to Jonathan LaCroix. Ground ball up the middle, a diving try by Carroll, but no cigar. Down to second goes Betancourt. So again, Garland has to fight his way out of a jam. First and second with 1 out, and Sean Markham coming up. So Markham looking over at Ed Cedar to see, even with 1 out, would they have him try to bunt? That would make a lot of sense. Stay out of the double play and let Ricky Weeks come up. So Rags will make the decision. Yeah, that's his nickname. It's been that forever. Ron Renicky. Ron will be 55 in August, starting out his managerial career, and we certainly wish him well. So the Dodgers bring up the corners, expecting the bunt. And he shows bunt, gets it down foul, 0-1 the count. No balls and 1 strike to count to Sean Markham. 1-0. in favor of the Brewers. Among other things, the Brewers do not bunt very well. They're the 11th lowest. But this time he gets it down to Uribe, who looks at second and then throws to first. So Markham does his job as he sacrifices, and now the Brewers have runners at second and third with 2 out, and the batter will be Ricky Weeks. Now Weeks singled to left in the first inning and then hit that ball to left field in the spectacular catch by Jay Gibbons. So Ricky checking in. Ricky Weeks and Prince Fielder go way back together. Heck, when they were 11 years old, they were teammates on an AAU baseball team. Ball 1, first base open, and Carlos Gomez on deck. Ricky batting .298. 7 home runs, 13 runs batted in. A very, very good hitter. 1 ball and no strikes. And ball 2. In February of this year, Ricky signed a 4-year deal. So Garland is facing someone upon whose shoulders the Brewers feel he will help carry this club for 4 years with an option for the next year. That's a strike. 2-1. Coming down the line from third is Betancourt. At second base, LaCroix. And 2-1 to Ricky Weeks. Inside, ball 3. So Garland facing a very tough hitter and has gone 3-1. Weeks, by the way, strikes out almost 3 times as much as he walks, and yet he's still hitting close to 300. 3-1 to Ricky. Time. Weeks won the Dick Hauser Award as the best college baseball player in 2003. He also won the coveted Golden Spikes Award, which in all honesty is like the Heisman Trophy of baseball. 3-1. And inside for ball 4. So Garland now has allowed 1 run, 4 hits, but he's also walked 3 and hit a batter.
Center field, number 27, Carlos
His
Gomez.
pitch count is up there to 66. And here is Carlos Gomez, fouled out and hit by a pitch. Gomez without a slam. Brewers trying to open it up a little. They lead 1-0. Fouled away. 0-1. Carlos, one of those fellows, very much, as you can see, swinging at the first pitch. But that's a mark of this Milwaukee club. Very, very aggressive. 1 ball, 1 strike. To repeat, they are the first in the league at swinging at the first pitch. So the bases are loaded. Betancourt, LaCroix, and Weeks are out there with 2 down. Gomez hitting .239. 1-1. That's a strike. 1-2. Gomez, I think, mad at himself the way he jumped away on letting that pitch go by. Originally signed by the Mets, played for them 1 year. Then he went 2 years to the Twins, and this is his 2nd year with the Brewers. So 1-2 with 2 out and the bases loaded. Down he goes. So a huge out for John Garland. Big strikeout for Carlos Gomez. No runs, a hit, 3 left, and it's still 1-0 Milwaukee. Uribe hits a ball that should be a home run, but Carlos Gomez takes it away from him. And then Ricky Weeks unloads, and a great catch in left field by Jay Gibbons. Jay slamming into the wall and recovered and stayed in the game. Last year we saw Jason Bay on a similar play. He had to leave the game. And of course the drops in the eyes when you wear contact lenses. It's tough enough to play this game if you're 100%. And Jay certainly gives it his all. One ball and no strikes. Carroll fouled out to Corey Hart in the first inning. 1-1. Dodgers struggling to get on the scoreboard. Coming up with 1 run yesterday, no runs the day before, and so far nothing 3 innings tonight. 2-1. And that's hit to the gap, coming in a hurry, but no catch. However, Gomez cut it off and holds it to a single. That ball could have gone through for extra bases. So that breaks the string after 9 outs.
Second baseman,
Jamie Carroll a base hit to right center, and the batter Aaron Miles. Hit number 1. Aaron Miles flied to left field in the first inning. If you followed the Dodgers closely at all this year, you know Aaron likes to bunt. Well, we'll see what he does now. Not so much sacrificing, but he likes to try to bunt for a base hit. And ball 1. Miles coming off a 3-hit game yesterday. 2 hits the game before. And he has his average up to 289. Jamie Carroll at first with nobody out. Carroll has stolen 4 out of 4. Though they'll try to keep an eye on him. The Milwaukee pitching staff has been plagued by what you could call secondary issues. They're very high up in wild pitches, for instance. That's in there. They haven't caught a lot of base stealers. In fact, the Milwaukee pitching staff is first in the National League in runners stealing third. One ball and 1 strike. Carroll held on by Fielder. There's the bunt we were talking about, and it's going to be a base hit. Sure enough. So Miles bunts for the hit, and 2 on with nobody out, and Ethier, Kemp, and Uribe coming up. So Aaron Miles does it again as he drops a dandy. Andre Ethier struck out in the first inning, hitting .344, 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. So Markham in a jam here, 2 on and nobody out. Brewers lead 1-0. And ball 1. Ground ball, fair ball, fielder to the bag, and the runners move up. So Ethier grounds out, first base open, and Matt Kemp coming up. As Miles takes second, Carroll takes third. And here comes Matt. He struck out in the second inning. Kemp has had 4 at-bats against Markham. He is 0 for 4, striking out 2 of the 4 times. Matt 7 home runs, 25 runs batted in. And dropped it in nicely at 75 miles an hour. 0-1. The Brewers pitching staff, second highest number of home runs by right-handed batters, and third highest home runs allowed on the road. So that's been a Renicky headache. 0-1 to Matt. In the dirt, nice block by LaCroix. 1-1. Sean now has made 45 pitches, in direct contrast to John Garland, who has made 70. 1-1. Fastball hit to center. Gomez for the catch. Tagging is Carroll, and he will score. Boy, what a strong throw to third base by Gomez. So the Dodgers tie it up. Matt Kemp picks up Carroll. And with a 1-1 tie, the batter will be Juan Uribe.
Third baseman number 5, Juan Uribe.
One run, 4 hits for the Brewers. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. LaCroix going out to talk to Markham as if to say, remember this guy? He's the one who hit the ball that Gomez prevented from being a home run. Gomez also showed off a great arm. Boy, what a throw he made, just to make sure that Miles couldn't come over to third base. So Aaron's at second with 2 out and a 1-1 tie. And here's Uribe. Being robbed of the home run also dropped him under 200. Ball 1. Uribe's average right now 198. 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. One and 0. And 2-0. In 2009, Juan Uribe had a big year with the bat. He had 289, but most of the time 230, 240. Right now, as we said, just 198. Foul back, 2-1. Last year, when he had a career year, 24 home runs, 85 runs batted in, he hit 248. His best year, probably in the big leagues, 2009, when he hit 289 for the Giants. 2-1 the count. And ball 3. Waiting on deck, James Loney. 3-1 to Juan Uribe. Pulled foul. 3-2. Uribe from the Dominican. He joins right in with Milwaukee. He is a very aggressive first pitch swinger. is probably the lowest as far as taking strike 3. Three and 2. And ball 4 way off the plate. For Markham, that would be the first walk he's given up. He has struck out 3, and he'll face Loney, who flied to left field in the second inning. We have a 1-1 tie here in the 4th inning, and the Dodgers have runners at first and second, Miles at second, Uribe at first. Loney hitting .228. He has a home run and 12 runs batted in. Two down. Way out in front of it. 0-1 the count. Of course, you see a lot of that when Markham is pitching. As we mentioned at the start of the game, he was not allowed to throw a curveball, and that's a great idea for any young fella thinking about being a pitcher. So all he could do is throw fastballs and changeups, and he developed a great changeup by the time he was about 14. 1-1 the count. One run, 4 hits for the Brewers. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. The Brewers have left 7 men in 4 innings. So they've had ample opportunities. Dodgers 9 in a row went down until Carroll opened up the 4th with a single, and the Dodgers got him home to tie up the game. One and 1 to James Loney. 2 out. Off the plate, ball 2. Coming into the game and looking at Markham's numbers, he had struck out 50 and walked 12, so better than a 4-to-1 ratio. So far tonight, he has walked 1 and struck out 3. Interesting that Uribe got a walk on that 3-2 pitch as well. 2-1 to Loney. Check swing, foul back, 2-2. Uribe had walked 6 times all year, and his last 4 times up, he's walked 3 times. So pretty much of a drastic change for Juan Uribe, especially being as aggressive as he is. So deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, and 2 runs in the game, 1 apiece. And Loney, a fly ball moving over his Gomez, and that'll be that. So the Dodgers get a couple of base hits, one of them a bunt single by Aaron Miles, cash it in, and at the end of 4, a 1-1 tie. Run, 4 hits for Milwaukee. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. The Dodgers have left 2, and Milwaukee has left 7. So they left 2 on in the first inning. They left a man on in the second. They left a man on in the third. And for good measure, Milwaukee then left the bases loaded in the fourth. So Ryan Braun will lead it off. And a slicing fly ball to Ethier in right field. 1 pitch, 1 away. That'll bring up Fielder, who popped up under the infield fly rule and singled on a ground ball that just ate Jamie Carroll up and went out into center field, cashing in Carlos Gomez. So Prince 1 for 2. He has 32 runs batted in and 9 home runs. Strike. Oh, and 1 to Prince. Oh, and 2. We mentioned earlier how Prince Fielder and Ricky Weeks are very close. They've been together since they were 11 years old. Close so much, and the bond grew deeper. And Prince Fielder asked Weeks to be the godfather of his newborn son. And as Ricky said, that meant a lot to me. It shows you just how close we are. 0-2. And hit to left. Here comes Gibbons, and can't make the play. Fielder will hold on. So Fielder hits a sinker into left field for a base hit with 1 out, and Casey McGee will be coming up. For Garland now 5 hits, so near and yet so far for Jay. That's short. McGee popped up, hit back to the box. Fielder at first with 1 out. If you are thinking about Fielder surprising everybody with a stolen base, it should be pointed out that he's had at least 1 stolen base with the Brewers since 2006. That's right. He had 1 last year, 2 the year before, 3 the year before, and his big year, 2006, Prince stole 7 bases. He attended the Florida Air Academy in Melbourne, and that gave him dreams of stealing bases, right? 0-1. Foul back, 0-2. Tomorrow night, Randy Wolf and Hiroki Kuroda. We know full well about the Dodgers and all the fellas who are on the DL: Marcus Thames, Casey Blake, Rafael Furcal, Hector Jimenez, and then the pitchers, Broxton, Hawksworth, and Quo. The Brewers have had their share of DL players. They've had 2 infielders, Niall Morgan and Eric Almonte. They've had 4 pitchers on the DL, including old friend Takashi Saito. So Ron Renicky has had his problems, and both clubs, suffering with injuries, are 4 games back. The Brewers behind Cincinnati and the Dodgers behind the Giants. Hard ground ball to Uribe, down to second, back to first. See you later. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left, and at the end of 4.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. brought to you by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. And by Chase, deposit checks from your smartphone with quick deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. We have a 1-1 tie as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Jay Gibbons, Rod Barajas, and John Garland against right-hander Sean Markham. And ball 1. Gibbons grounded hard to Prince Fielder, and this time whacks it to the gap in left center. Carlos Gomez unable to get it, and it will be a double for Gibbons, and he'll hold up on a strong throw to third. So they loaded up the right side. They expect Gibbons to pull everything, and he went the other way. Got a ball up and away, and he's strong enough to drive it in the gap. Carlos Gomez trying to make another great catch, but could not quite catch up to it. So Gibbons a leadoff double with nobody out. Barajas, Garland, and Carroll coming up. Barajas struck out in the 3rd inning. Rod with those 7 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Barajas and Kemp are tied with 7 home runs. That's a strike. 0-1. Markham has allowed 1 run and 3 hits. He has walked 1, and one of the 3 hits a bunt single by Aaron Miles. Interesting too, it's the 2nd time around for the Dodger hitters. 0-2. So the 2nd time around, Carroll singled. 2nd time around, Miles singled. 2nd time around, Kemp's fly ball picked up the run. Now 2nd time around, Gibbons doubled. 0-2. Gibbons a tiebreaker at 2nd base, nobody out. On deck, John Garland. And a drive into left center field and deep. Gomez to the track, makes the catch, and he has that great arm. Look at that, a 1-hopper to third from deep left center field. There was no way for Gibbons to advance, though 1 away.
Batting next pitcher, number 21, John Garland.
So Gibbons has to hold, and John Garland coming up. Garland fouled out in the 3rd inning to Casey McGee. And McGee, Markham, along with the catcher LaCroix, put their heads together. On deck, Jamie Carroll. Garland 0 for 1 tonight, so he is 0 for 7 with 2 strikeouts. They think maybe he will be bunting to get his man over to third, even though it's the 2nd out. Let's see. Fielder is in on the grass. McGee is caddy corner, and a look for a strike. 0-1. Tim Wallach perhaps hanging out a sign. If Garland is asked to bunt, he does have 4 sacrifices. He tries to bunt. 0-2. Remember, we told you that the Milwaukee pitching staff has been plagued by secondary issues. One of them, a number of wild pitches. So the thought is, okay, if you get a man over to third with 2 out, you never know. The Brewers have had 16 wild pitches. No balls and 2 strikes. Full swing, ground ball to short. Double clutch and barely getting. The Betancourt not quite ready to throw and almost lost Garland. 2 down with the ball hit ahead of him. Gibbons had nowhere to go, and now the batter is Jamie Carroll.
Shortstop number 14, Jamie Carroll.
So Garland, after being asked to bunt, made contact, still couldn't advance the man, and now it's up to Carroll. Jamie fouled out down the right field line. Nice running catch by Corey Hart, and then singled up the middle and eventually came around to score on Kemp's fly ball to deep center. So Gibbons a tiebreaker at second, 1-1, bottom of the 5th inning. Ball 1. Jamie has his average at 322. Time. Markham and LaCroix not on the same page. Carroll yesterday had a single and a double and scored the only Dodger run. With his base hit tonight, he has scored the only Dodger run. So he has done a tremendous job in the leadoff role. Meanwhile, Rafael Furcal is playing and playing pretty well. He hit right-handed yesterday, and the Dodgers think that he might be ready to play when the Dodgers are in Houston. They'll be in Houston on May 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And right now, realistically, that's where Don Mattingly says he expects to see Furcal about ready to play once again. And meanwhile, Carroll holds down the fort. 2-0. Fouled away down the right field line. Sean Markham with a record of 4-1. Tomorrow night, Randy Wolf, the former Dodger, with a record of 3-3. Will go up against Hiroki Kuroda. So Kuroda making his own mental notes, watching and looking at the Milwaukee hitters. Right-handers last year gave Markham a bad time. They hit .298 against him. And that's flared. Going out and ready to make the play is Ricky Weeks. So the Dodgers lead Gibbons, who opened up the inning with a double. And at the end of 5, a 1-1 tie. once was turn back the clock to 1954. He had broken his collarbone in spring training, so he didn't play at all until this day, May the 16th of 1954, in a doubleheader against Detroit. How'd he come out? He went 8 for 9. That's right, 3 for 5 in the first game, 5 for 5 in the second. Let's go back to this one. Gibbons on his horse will have to chase that to the bullpen gate, and breezing into second base goes Corey Hart with a double. So the Dodgers had Gibbons lead off with a double, couldn't move him, and now Hart doubles to left. So Betancourt and LaCroix trying to advance him in this 1-1 tie. For John Garland, he has allowed 6 hits, he has walked 3. He has hit a batter, and yet he's allowed only 1 run, but he has been in constant trouble. So now here's Betancourt, remember, a notorious first ball hitter, and he is singled and hit into a force play. And bunts foul, 0-1. Yuniesky Betancourt, from Santa Clara in Cuba. One reason they haven't tried a bunt, he strikes out a lot. He was on that Cuba's bronze medal winning team during the 2000 World Junior Championship. That team also featured the Angels' Kendry Morales. Comebacker, runner holding, out at first. Well, time to get you thinking in between pitches as Betancourt unable to advance the runner. Our trivia question for tonight: who are the only 2 players to win the MVP award for the Brewers? The only 2. I will give you the answer in a little while. Meanwhile, we're in the 6th inning, and here's Jonathan LaCroix. The catcher has flied to right, single to center. LaCroix hitting .333. And ball 1. 1 run, 6 hits for the Brewers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. The Brewers had left at least 1 man in every inning, and then the double play prevented them from doing that in the 5th inning. Now they have a runner at second with 1 out. 1-0. And a fly ball to center. Kemp going over to get it, tagging his Hart. Matt for the catch, and Corey will get over to third base. So that was the failure of Betancourt, magnified now by the long fly ball. If Betancourt gets him over to third, why, Corey walks in on that fly ball. Instead, they have a runner at third, 2 out, and Sean Markham, who has hit into a force play and sacrifice. So Garland really hanging tough tonight, pitching out of the stretch constantly and allowing a run that came in the 3rd. Dodger run came in the 5th. Markham 0 for 1. However, he does have 3 hits. 3 hits in 19 at bats. Ball 1. Again, remember, he was a shortstop when he played in college, relieved. 1-0. And ball 2. For John Garland, he does not have a wild pitch. We always look that up with a runner at third. 2-0. 2-1. 1 run, 6 hits for the Brewers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. And now 3-1. Boy, he's got to come up with a couple of strikes or he gets Ricky Weeks. Big pitch, 3-1. And a strike. And now an even bigger pitch, 3-2. Runner at third, 2 out, 1-1 tie. And off the plate. So now let's see, that certainly was huge. John Garland's 4th walk. Anxious moments for Rick Honeycutt and for Don Mattingly. And here comes Ricky Weeks. Weeks hitting .298, single to left field in the first inning. Lost an extra base hit on the great catch by Jay Gibbons in left field, and then walked in the 4th. Ricky has 7 home runs, and in the leadoff role, however, he only has 13 runs batted in. Ricky with very, very quick hands. Constantly in motion. And a strike. There are some people who feel that Ricky Weeks has the quickest hands since Gary Sheffield, which is saying an awful lot. First and third, 2 out, 1-1 tie, 6th inning. At the knuckles, 1-1. At third, Corey Hart. At first, Sean Markham. Hard ground ball, base hit. So the walk to Sean Markham set the Dodgers up to get hurt, and sure enough, Ricky Weeks singles in the tiebreaker. The Weeks with 2 hits and a walk, and the only time they've gotten him was the great catch by Gibbons. So first and second as Corey Hart brings in the run, and the batter is Carlos Gomez. Honeycutt gone out. If nothing else, Garland was annoyed at himself first for walking Markham with 2 out, allowing Weeks to come up, and sure enough, Ricky does what he does so well, hits the baseball. Mike McDougal begins to throw in the Dodger bullpen. The pitch count for Garland, he's up to the 93 mark. When the Dodgers hit in the bottom half, they'll have Miles, Ethier, and Kemp. The last game that Garland pitched, remember, he only worked 22 innings and he made 21 pitches. So the batter now, Carlos Gomez, fouled out, hit by a pitch, stole a base, scored a run. Hitting .237. Hard ground ball, great play by Uribe. That's an extra base hit and at least one more run, and instead Juan makes a great play. Meanwhile, John Garland gesturing to Brian Knight. Maybe he felt that he should have gotten a strike on that series of pitches to Markham. But anyway, the end of 5.5, 2-1 Brewers. so we put the freeze cam on it, and that was the ball hit by Ricky Weeks. And if you weren't here, take a look at Gibbons. Bangs into that scoreboard. His left shoulder hits first. His neck and head go back. He staggers and goes down on his right side, rolls over, but held on to the ball. Didn't hurt his swinging. In the 5th inning, Jay doubled, though he's all in one piece. But the Brewers are leading the Dodgers 2-1. The big play, the walk to the pitcher, and sure enough, cashed in by Ricky Weeks. So Weeks, 2 for 3, and the 1 out was that catch by Gibbons. Now Aaron Miles, Andre Ethier, and Matt Kemp. Miles flied to left, and as he does so often, bunted for a base hit in the 4th inning. And a strike. 0-1. Miles hitting .296, 9 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Kenley Jansen begins to warm up. Off speed, hit off the end of the bat. 1 away. Remember the trivia question? It had to do with the Milwaukee Brewers and the only 2 players to win the MVP award for them. And you're right on the money if you remember Raleigh Fingers and Robin Yount. Yount did it twice. An incredible player. And of course, Raleigh Fingers could easily have played Simon Legree. He had that long mustache that twirled at the end, and what a pitcher. Here's Andre Ethier. They load up the right side, fouled away. Bottom of the 6th, Brewers 2 runs, 7 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits. The Rockies beat the Giants 7-4. Houston Street finished it off to give the Rockies their victory. So Colorado is a half a game back of the Giants. And remember, the Giants will be here Wednesday and Thursday nights. Oh, and 2. Little ground ball to the 1 man on that side. And with a wind-up and a throw, McGee takes care of him. So 2 down in the 6th inning, and Matt Kemp coming up. Kemp struck out and had the scoring fly ball to drive in the only Dodger run. That was in the 4th inning. Tim Lincecum really struggled in that Giants game where the Rockies won it. Lincecum allowed all 7 runs, walked 6, and gave up that big 3-run home run that decided the game to Carlos Gonzalez. 0-1 to Matt. Dodgers have won 4 straight from Milwaukee. Off speed, hit the straightaway center right into the glove of Carlos Gomez, and that's the inning. Well, that didn't take long. So at the end of 6, Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. As we go to the 7th inning, the Dodgers change pitchers. John Garland is through for the night. Kenley Jansen takes over. To match up the starters, you can see one of the big difference. Markham allowing only 77 pitches. John Garland pitching out of a stretch most of the night. John picked up 1 strikeout and Markham only 3, so neither man overpowering the hitters, but yet they were doing a great job. Markham still sits quietly in the dugout trying for his 5th win, and Garland can only hope to get off the hook as Kenley Jansen takes over. Jansen has not allowed a run in his last 7 appearances, and he's allowed just 1 hit with 15 strikeouts over that same stretch. And a strike. Well, he'll be sorely tested here in the 7th with Braun, Fielder, and McGee. Ryan has walked, grounded out, flied to right. Fouled away, 0-2. Braun hitting .305, 12 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Last thing that Ryan Braun expected was to come here and have to blow on his hands. It was 58 degrees when the game started. One and two. Braun, for one reason or another, has slowed down hitting coming into this game from the 7th to the 9th inning. He's hitting in the 220s late in the game. Still 1-2. Tonight he has walked, grounded out, flied out. Fouled away. In looking at previous battles, Ryan Braun has not faced Kenley Jansen in the past. Nothing to go on at all. Ryan 27, he'll be 28 in November. And see you later. So Braun, who for one reason or another hitting well over 300, but in the 220s from the 7th inning on, strikes out. The batter now will be Prince Fielder. Popped up under the infield fly rule, singled twice, 2 for 3. Fielder batting .288, 9 home runs, 32 runs batted in, ball 1. The Dodgers put up their version of a triangle defense in the sense that Aaron Miles is not only deep, he's into shallow right field. Carroll has come across, and Uribe all alone on the left side. 1-1. It's old hat now to see them load up one side, but boy, it made news back in the 40s when they first loaded up against Ted Williams. It was Cleveland. Lou Boudreau had the idea to load up the right side, and Ted felt it was just another challenge. Ground ball, 2 down. Now it's commonplace, and the batter is Casey McGee. Naturally, the first thought when you see them load up on a hitter, you think, well, all he has to do is bunt the ball up along third, but it's not that easy. McGee can tell you it's not that easy. He popped up, hit back to the box, grounded into a double play. Oh, 1. Well, if you remember the battle cry from the old Fibber McGee radio shows, "Tain't funny, McGee." And for KC, hitting .272, 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Big breaking ball, 1-1. Kenley Jansen sent down, called back, much better for the experience. Fouled away. He's throwing hard, 97, 98. Of course, Kenley's a big fella. He's 6'6" and at least 240. From Curaçao in the Netherlands Antilles. Made a big jump last year. 1-2. Fastball banged into left field. So McGee goes 1 for 3 with a 2-out single, and Corey Hart will be coming up. You know, you can take the Dodgers with you wherever you go this year. Subscribe to MLB.TV today. See every Dodger game live on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Dodgers.com to order. Get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Corey has popped up and walked and doubled. Scored a run. Ground ball to third. Nice pick by Uribe. And that's that. No runs, 1 hit, a man left at the end of 6.5, 2-1. Milwaukee. And the crowd enjoying a tough one here. 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Brewers. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. It was John Garland going up against Sean Markham. Garland gave way to Jansen, and Markham ready to go to the 7th inning, facing Uribe, Loney, and Gibbons. Juan Uribe, it says, is 0 for 1. The 0 for was a near home run, but a spectacular catch in the 2nd inning by Carlos Gomez, who is 6'4" out there in center field, making a leaping catch, glove above the wall to take the home run away. Fastball misses, ball 1. Uribe hitting 198. We mentioned it's odd the fact that he's walked 3 times in the last few at bats after walking only 6 times. Here's the catch in case you missed it. Here's Gomez, up you go, and look at that. The ball's over the wall, and he just brought it back. Huge play. 2-0 the count. And that's going to be hit into center for a base hit. Gomez up with it. So the Dodgers get the tying run aboard here in the 7th inning on the single to center. And the batter is Loney, followed by Gibbons, back-to-back left-hand batters. For the Dodgers, hit number 4 against Markham. In the Dodger bullpen, in case they have a chance and hit for Kenley Jansen, Matt Guerrier begins to warm up. So here's Loney, flied to left, flied to center, 0 for 2, hitting .227. Uribe, in case you wondered, does not have a stolen base. Fielder holding the corner, and a strike. Uribe last year with the Giants in 148 games had 1 stolen base. 2-1 Brewers, bottom of the 7th. Blowing away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Loney looking at Wallach. Wallach looking into the dugout. Right away, you're wondering about double plays. Loney has grounded into 3. And a strike, 1 and 2. Again, Loney checking Wallach, as is Uribe. Gibbons on deck, and then Rod Barajas, followed by the pitcher Kenley Jansen. 2-1, favor the Brewers, bottom of the 7th. Two and 2. Markham has walked 1. That was Uribe in the 4th inning. He was burned on a bunt single by Aaron Miles, and that set up the Dodger run in the 4th inning. He started the game by retiring the first 9 in a row. 2 and 2. Just in case the Dodgers might be thinking of putting on a play with Loney, they drive Uribe back. Loney has struck out 19 times. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's going to be hit into left field for a base hit. Stopping at second is Uribe. So the Dodgers now back-to-back singles, nobody out. Down in the bullpen for Milwaukee, LaTroy Hawkins, a right-hander, begins to loosen up, and Jay Gibbons will be coming up. So Ron Renicky now trying to hold on to that 2-1 lead, and the Dodgers trying to come back and take it away from them. Hawkins in the pen, Markham in trouble, Casey McGee over to talk, and Gibbons at the plate, grounded hard to fielder and doubled. The difference being they played him to pull and he hit the ball to fielder. They played him to pull and he doubled to the gap in left center, inches away from the glove of Carlos Gomez. What breeze we have is blowing out to right field. And ball one. Of course, Gibbons hasn't played a lot. He does not have a sacrifice, if you're thinking about that. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Brewers. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. Markham has made 86 pitches. One ball and no strikes. One and one. So Gibbons looking at Wallach to see what kind of a play they might put on. Uribe, a tying run at second. Loney, a possible go-ahead runner at first, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Jay Gibbons. Jay out of Michigan, lives in Maryland. Ball 2, 2-1. One thing, the pitch count is always important, and especially somebody like Markham. He's been over 100 pitches only once in his 8 starts this year, and he's at 88 right now. So that becomes a factor, and you can bet Ron Renicky is keeping track of the pitch count, and Hawkins about ready in the pen. 2-1. Little ground foul down the line, and the count 2-2. So Gibbon trying to keep it going. Dodgers since 2001 have won 40 of the 60 games against Milwaukee. The Brewers coming off a 5-1 homestand. Renicky returning here to his home grounds. 2-2. And down goes Gibbons. So 1 away, runners holding at first and second. Markham is not an overpowering pitcher at all. That is his 4th strikeout, however. And now with 1 out, he has Rod Barajas. Deanna Navarro comes out on deck. A little interesting at this juncture, 7th inning, to have a catcher playing and a catcher pinch hitting. Mattingly desperate for runs, though he has the switch hitting Navarro on deck. Barajas has struck out, fly to center. Ball 1. Rod batting .229, 7 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Dodgers have only left 3 men on base in the 6 previous innings. 1-0. 1-1. Boy, Barajas almost came out of his shoes with that swing. All these pitches coming up there basically are in the 80s. That last pitch was only 79. And I guess to the hitter, it looks like a basketball, but it's anything but. 1-1 to Rod Barajas. Dodgers trying to get a win and get to the 500 mark at home. They're 10-11. 1-1. Two and one. Brewers got a run in the third inning. A hit batter, a stolen base, and a single by Prince Fielder. Dodgers got a run on two singles and a scoring fly ball by Kemp. And the Brewers got the go-ahead run on a double by Corey Hart. A very, very important 2-out, 3-2 pitch that missed to pitcher Sean Markham, and that allowed Ricky Weeks to come up and get a base hit to give the Brewers the lead. 2-1 now, the count on Barajas. Two and two. Markham's pitch count now 94. Sean came in with 50 strikeouts and 12 walks, and he's continued with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk tonight. Sean Markham. Out of Kansas City, the show me state, and he's been showing him. Sean was a 13-game winner with the Blue Jays last year. So with 1 out, he's 2-2 to Barajas, and Deanna Navarro on deck. Why would Navarro be on deck? Well, looking it up, he has 5 hits and a home run against Markham. Fouled away. Pitch in on the hands, and that was 88. It's about as hard. I think we've seen Markham hit the 90 mark just a couple of times. He has to be all pitcher. There's as high at 90 and the low at 70. And wonderful control. He walked Uribe in the 4th inning, and that's it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a fly ball to left field. Braun coming up. So that's the 2nd out. And so for Don Mattingly, looking at the numbers, he's going to have catchers back to back, which is a little dangerous.
Number 30, Deanna Navarro.
Rick Kranitz going out to the mound to instruct Markham how to pitch Navarro. Navarro's had 18 at-bats, more at-bats against Markham than any other player on the Dodger team. He is 5 for 18 with a home run. So Deanna was hitting 176 with a home run and 1 run batted in. And of course that puts a lot of pressure on Barajas to avoid injury now that you burn up the backup catcher. So Deanna Navarro checking in. So far, the Dodgers are 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The Brewers are only 2 for 9, but both hits came with 2 outs and drove in a run. So here with 2 out and 2 on, the battle between Markham and Navarro. Breaking ball strike at 74, or as our screen said, 72. A little bit of discrepancy, I think, from the board in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Uribe at second, Loney at first, 2 out, 2-1 Brewers. And a pop fly Going out to get it is Betancourt. So the gamble doesn't work. The Dodgers get 2 on, nobody out, and can't advance. And at the end of 7, it's 2-1 Brewers. Sean Markham is done for the night. He made 98 pitches in his 7 innings, limiting the Dodgers to just 1 earned run. He has really been quite a pitcher. He came in here 4-1, and the one successful road pitcher that Milwaukee has had. Meanwhile, the Dodgers make a double switch. They bring in Matt Guerrier, but they also bring in Tony Gwynn at the same time. Gwynn goes into left field. Matt with a 2-2 record, ready to face Yuniesky Betancourt, then Jonathan LaCroix, and we'll see about Markham or a hitter. Betancourt, just to remind you, very much of a first ball swinger, and lifts it to center. So he just doesn't hang around, does he? He's the #1 first pitch hitter or swinger.
Jonathan LaCroix.
And we have 1 away. I guess it's a big debate about swinging at the first pitch. You know the pitcher, the new pitcher especially, is going to try to get ahead with the first pitch. But then again, you have that thought to at least take a look at a pitch to see what he delivers, the arm angle, etc. But some fellows just can't change the habit. And after all, he is a big leaguer. That's a strike to LaCroix. Fly to right, single to center, and fly to center. So Jonathan is 1 for 3, hitting .329. Out on deck now, Brandon Boggs, who's a switch hitter, will bat for Markham. And hit left-handed, obviously, against Guerrier. 1 out, 8th inning, 2-1 Brewers. As far as 1-run games are concerned, the Dodgers have won 5 of 6 at home and lost 3 of 4 on the road. So the record, 6 wins and 4 losses in tough 1-run games. The Brewers are 5-2 in 1-run games at home. On the road, however, they are 0-5. Three and 2 the count to Jonathan LaCroix. And pop foul behind the plate off to the right. Barajas coming, but no play. The paid attendance we get right now, paid attendance 35,346. 35,346. Tomorrow night, it'll be Hiroki Kuroda going up against Randy Wolf. The pride of Pepperdine and Canoga Park. Well, Randy will be going after his ex-club tomorrow evening. Meanwhile, ball 4 to LaCroix, which means Boggs will be coming up, or will he? Boggs now is being called back. And Mark Kotze, a veteran outfielder, will be coming up, and not Boggs.
Your attention, please. For the Brewers, pinch hitting number 25, Mark Kotze.
So Mark Kotze coming up, a veteran who has certainly been around and played very well for a long time, hitting .250. Mark, a couple of years ago when he was with the Atlanta Braves, that would be 2008, he hit for the cycle. And ball 1. Kotze was born in Whittier, lives in San Diego, and Mark went to school at Cal State Fullerton. He was originally a first-round pick for the Marlins. Then he played for the Padres and the A's, Braves, Red Sox, White Sox, and now the Brewers. 2-0. Mark will be 36 in December. Played a lot of football. He was a quarterback and a free safety in high school. He's an even 6, about 205 pounds. 2-1. In his salad days with the Padres, he had 17 home runs. That would be a big league high. He had back-to-back years with the Oakland A's where he hit 15. He has LaCroix at first with 1 out. Big foul off third, slicing towards the stands and out of play. So a runner aboard with 1 out in the 8th, and the Brewers leading the Dodgers 2-1. Kotze is the son of a retired police officer. His dad, a motorcycle patrolman for the LAPD. Two and 2. And ball 3. The interesting thing about Kotze, with his father as a motorcycle officer, Mark was a national champion racer off-road bicycles at the age of 6. Talk about a chip off the old block. He was a Golden Spikes Award winner, nation's top amateur, back in 1995. There goes the runner on ball 4. So back-to-back walks here with 1 out in the 8th inning. And the batter will be Ricky Weeks, who has given the Dodgers a bad time. In fact, the only time the Dodgers retired Weeks tonight was that spectacular catch by Jay Gibbons in left field. Ricky led off the game with a single to left, robbed by Gibbons in the 3rd, walked in the 4th, and singled the tie-breaking run in the 6th. Tough hitter, batting .302. 7 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Big breaking ball misses, ball 1. Weeks, as we told you, with those very quick hands. Last year, he had 21 home runs against right-hand pitching. One and oh. Half swing for a strike. 1-1. He was not drafted out of high school. He got scholarship offers from George Washington University and Southern University, and that's the one he accepted. One ball and one strike to Ricky Weeks. Hard ground ball to Carroll. They get one, and it's too late to first. So taking third is LaCroix. Kotze is removed at second. Weeks stays alive, and the batter will be Carlos Gomez. Here's that hard takeaway as Miles is ready to unload. Coming in hard and making him straddle Mark Kotze, and that's the way he's played the game throughout his career. Clean as a whistle, but hard. So Mark does his job. Prince Fielder over to mention something to him, and with two out, first and third, here is Carlos Gomez, and we'll see just how important that takeout slide was. They also have to worry about Weeks. The bunt, foul, 0-1. Weeks has stolen 5 out of 7. LaCroix standing at third. You know, when Ricky was in college, he stole 65 out of 66. You'd like to sign the guy who got him. Oh, and 1. Late swing by Gomez. That pitch was already on top of him. 0-2. Brewers 2 runs, 8 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 5 hits. Dodgers have left 5. The Brewers left 7 in the first 4 innings. Oh, and 2. Did he swing? Yes, he did. Bad ball. Gomez chased it, and down he goes. So no runs, no hits, 2 left. Dodgers coming up. Carroll, Miles, and Ethier, 2-1. Milwaukee. 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the difference in the game gets summed up in 2 words. Carlos Gomez taking a home run away from Juan Uribe, and the Dodgers with only 1 instead of 2 thanks to that catch. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Gomez at 6'4" has covered a lot of ground out there, even though he's been very quiet at the plate, going 0 for 3. For the Dodgers now, it will be Carroll, Miles, and Ethier against Cameron Lowe. And if you've got some time, he is a very interesting person to talk about. Number one is size. He is 6'7", checks in about 240. He was born in Simi Valley and lives in Chatsworth, and originally selected by the Rangers 9 years ago. That's not interesting enough. How about the fact he has the number 34 superimposed over a blazing fastball tattoo on his right shoulder blade? He idolized Nolan Ryan, but that's not interesting enough. But now he got one other thing that will catch your attention. 1-1. He has, or maybe had, but I know he had, a 7-foot, 20-pound Colombian red-tail boa constrictor named Angel. And here's the 1-1 pitch. And ball 2. He would keep the snake in a pillowcase when he traveled, and he has a tank for the snake at home. Now, this is all used to be. I'm not sure if he still does. The boa, 6 years old. 2-1. 2-2. Sometimes when he was with the Rangers, they said that he would wrap up Angel, that's the name of the boa constrictor, he'd wrap Angel up in a bag, bring her to the ballpark, and keep her in his locker. Otherwise, she stays in his apartment. 2-2. Two and two to Jamie Carroll. Foul to right, single to center, and scored the run and popped up. Jamie hitting .320. Fastball. Fielder almost went after it. Gets back to the bag in time. And we have 1 out in the 8th inning. So, you know, tomorrow at 7:10, the Dodgers and the Brewers, and it'll be Kuroda against Randy Wolf, and you can take home your very own Clayton Kershaw bobblehead, courtesy of Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. The Clayton, flanked by Chad Billingsley and Casey Blake, will be waiting for his next turn. It will be the Giants. And we have 1 out in the 8th, and here's Aaron Miles, who has flied to left, bunted for a base hit, and last time up grounded out. Down in the Dodger bullpen, left-hander Scott Elbert, right-hander Vicente Padilla. 0-1. Fastball comebacker, knocked down. 2 out. The Cameron Lowe, a nice play, and the batter now will be Andre Ethier.
Right fielder, number 16, Andre Ethier.
Andre Ethier struck out, grounded out twice, 0 for 3. Looking at Cameron Lowe's record last year, left-handers hit .274 against him with 4 home runs. Big chopper backhanded by Casey McGee, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. That would make Angel proud. And at the end of 8, 2-1 Brewers. Ninth inning, 2-1 Brewers, and it'll be Braun, Fielder, and McGee. And there's a hopper into left center for a base hit. And Braun will go for 2. Matt Kemp's throw in. He is in there. So Ryan Braun doubles into left center to open up the ninth inning. Maybe other things will provide the final score. But so far through 8 innings, the biggest single moment was ball 4 to Sean Markham. That was in the 6th inning. With a runner at third and 2 out, the count went to 3-2. John Garland pitching, just missed for ball 4. That allowed Weeks to come up, and he singled in the go-ahead run. Dodgers now find themselves giving Fielder the intentional walk, so there'll be runners at first and second and nobody out. Casey McGee will be coming up, and in case you wonder, McGee has not sacrificed anything but, and he is 1 for 4 tonight, having grounded into a double play. So Guerrier gives up the double, now the walk. 2 runs, 9 hits for the Brewers. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers.
Third baseman, number
Mattingly
14,
talking
Casey
to
McGee.
his pitching coach, Rick Honeycutt. We had looked down to the bullpen earlier and we had seen Padilla and Elbert. So 2 on, nobody out. Here's McGee. McGee will be followed by Corey Hart. Dodgers are not looking bunt, and now here comes Mattingly, so hold on. Mike McDougald, who had been throwing earlier in the bullpen, is up again. Padilla and Elbert stop, and that's going to be it for Matt Guerrier, and they will go to the pen and bring in McDougald to face McGee. We're the 9th inning, 2-1 Brewers. We'll be right back. Or do not write the name McDougald in. Scott Elbert and Vicente Padilla were warming up in the bullpen, and then they both stopped, and McDougald was throwing alone, so when they waved to the pen, we expected McDougald to come in, but instead it was Scott Elbert, who pitched yesterday, one strong inning, striking out 3, and they bring him in, the left-hander, to face the right-hander, Casey McGee. And McDougald is back up again in the pen. So McGee is 1 for 4, and Corey Hart will follow him. Interesting, too, if you play the numbers game, last year, McGee hit left-handers for a .316 batting average and 8 home runs. So Braun at second, Fielder at first, nobody out. 2-1 Brewers, top of the 9th. And ball 1. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th inning, they'll have Kemp, Uribe, and Loney. One and one. Elbert throwing 91 with the fastball. Sean Markham and John Garland, the pitchers of record. And a high fly ball playable. Kemp is there. Braun to the tag, but I don't think he's coming over. No way. So a fly ball to center. McGee fails to advance the runners. 1 away. And the batter now is Corey Hart.
Corey Hart.
So McGee hit well against left-handers last year. It didn't pay off this time. And we'll see about Corey Hart. Hart has popped up and walked, doubled, and grounded out. And Hart now leaves home plate as Don Mattingly going out to the mound again. And we'll see if Elbert was only brought in to pitch to McGee. Yep, McDougald will now come in, and we'll be back. McDougald in relief after Jansen picked up in the 7th inning, and McDougald, the second pitcher here in the inning after Elbert came in to get McGee. Mike getting ready to face Corey Hart. And looking at McDougald's worth in the past, Hart is 1 for 1 against him. 2 runs, 9 hits for the Brewers. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers in the 9th inning. To repeat, Kemp, Uribe, and Loney will be due up in the 9th inning for the Dodgers. Meanwhile, Ryan Braun opened up with a double. Fielder was walked intentionally. And you can see Ron Renicky talking to Jonathan LaCroix in the dugout. Meanwhile, Hart will be the batter with Betancourt on deck. 1 out, 9th inning, 2 on. And Mike McDougald against Corey Hart. Hart hitting .241. And a high strike for a batter who's 6 feet 6 inches, and he's not happy with the call. He thought that was out of the strike zone. 0-1 to count to Corey. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. A little low. 1-1 to Corey Hart. McDougald has held the opposition to a .244 batting average. Well, Mike, he's in his 17th game, and his earned run average 1.3. 1-1. And ball 2. 2-1. The McDougald being very careful with Corey Hart. Slider, fastball, curve, and a forkball that he'd been working on, but finally gave up on it. A little roller jammed him. They will get the runner at second base. So the Brewers have Braun at third, Hart at first, and Yuniesky Betancourt. So we've talked about it enough times. You have your own scouting report on Betancourt. He is the highest percentage first ball swinger in the major leagues. There's something like 45-46% he swings at the first pitch, and it hasn't paid off for him. He's hitting only .226. He does have 2 home runs and 15 runs batted in. So the Brewers have certainly had ample opportunity to do some damage, more than 2 runs tonight. And strike 1. He leaned in on that, but he held up. Betancourt, 29 years old, out of Cuba. John Axford begins to warm up in the Milwaukee bullpen. First and third, 2 out, 9th inning, 2-1 Brewers. And that's fouled away. So Yuniesky is now in a hole, 0-2. Betancourt strikes out 3 times as much as he walks. Last year, almost the same. 0-2. Runner goes, little ground ball to Uribe, and the Dodgers are out of another jam. So the Brewers have left a ton, and we go to the bottom of the 9th with the Brewers trying to hold on to a 2-1 lead. runs, but they have 2, and the Dodgers just about have what they've gotten, just 1. So it's 2-1 Milwaukee. The Brewers started the game leaving 2 men in the first inning and piled up 14 men left on base. And now they bring in John Axford against Matt Kemp, Juan Uribe, and James Loney. John Axford, 6'5", 205-pounder out of Simcoe, Ontario in Canada. He's a native of Dutch heritage on his mom's side. He played soccer in elementary school. Axford opted to go to Notre Dame. That's when he'd been originally drafted by Seattle. Wound up being signed by the Yankees, but never made it. And the last year and a half, he's been with Milwaukee. Neither team has done well at all with runners in scoring position. The Brewers are 2 for 14, and the Dodgers are 0 for 8. 2 runs, 9 hits for the Brewers, 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. 1-1. Matt struck out, had a scoring fly ball in the 4th inning, and flied out in the 6th. 1-1. 1-2. Boy, that right into the mask of Jonathan LaCroix. Crowd of 35,346 here tonight. Time. Jonathan LaCroix might very well have asked for time. Dodger outfield straight away. Excuse me, Milwaukee outfield straight away for the Dodger outfielder. Tried to time that thing, and that pitch was on top of him, and he just did get a little bit of it and fouled it off. It was a late breaking pitch that came up there about 80. 1-2. Markham, Lowe, and Axford. Uribe on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Kemp goes down swinging, 1 away in the 9th inning. Strikeout for Axford. The starter, Sean Magram, he had struck out 4. Markham standing in line to pick up his 5th win unless the Dodgers can do something. So Kemp blown away, strikes out for a 2nd time, and now Uribe. And a strike. John Axford 0-1. He's in his 18th game, and working on Uribe, he has 19 strikeouts and 7 walks. Not quite 3-1, but close enough. Boy, he busted that thing. That was 97. He let that baby fly. 0-2 to Juan Uribe. John throwing hard enough where Uribe unable to extend his arms at all. Last year for the Brewers, Axford had 24 saves. 0-2. Ball 1. Even that's 97. Hard to see him throw as well as he does and understand he had Tommy John surgery. Big breaking ball. So Uribe follows Kemp and goes away empty-handed. 2 out. Up there, down there. So after all those 97-mile-an-hour fastball, he comes up with that deuce. Wow. He had Tommy John surgery, so he sat out the 2004 season. John Axford. And with 2 out, here's Loney. James flied to left, flied to center, single to left, 1 for 3. Tomorrow night, remember Randy Wolf against Hiroki Kuroda. Tomorrow night's game will be on KCAL 9. It's ball 1 to Loney. The only Dodger to have faced Axford in the past was Aaron Miles. That's a strike, 1-1 on deck, Tony Gwynn. Runs tough to come by. Dodgers shut out when Billingsley lost that 1 hitter. Dodgers scrambled for 1 run yesterday and come back with 1 run tonight. So now the Dodgers down to their last strike against hard throwing John Axford, and Miles looks like just watching gives him a headache. 1-2. There's that big curveball. 2-2 the count. Mattingly talking to his bench coach, Trey Hillman. For Axford, of course, he had a big pair of shoes to fill. The retired Trevor Hoffman left them for him. And a high fly ball, it's playable. Gomez is calling all the way, and that's it. So the Dodgers struggle and huff and puff and get 1, and the Brewers beat him 2-1. 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The